Hi, welcome to the Waardenburg Family Farm with Dawn and Brenda.
Come and join us this morning as we show you through our brand new high tunnel. First planting. Our new greenhouse is a biler tunnel. It's made right here in Pennsylvania, and you can see the roof line. It has kind of a Gothic. The older tunnels were totally rounded and the snow load would lay heavy. This is to allow the snow to clear. So we also bought it with higher winds in mind, since we're seemingly in a wind tunnel here in the farm.
I actually have some plants outside the tunnel. I started off with a whole lavender bed. I want to have lots of lavender to sell, to use. Just don't look at the weeds.
They're actually starting to bloom, aren't they?
Yep, I'm going to have probably picking some today or tomorrow. They smell amazing.
Nice. What else do you have outside here?
Well, I have a bunch of the black grow bags, and most of them have herbs in or things that can get out of control, so I keep them in bags so they don't, completely take over things.
What's this? Tansy?
That's tansy. Yep, it's an herb.
Never heard of it.
And then there's extra dahlias that I didn't have anywhere else to put. A plant called money plant, larkspur, chives. Here's a bush that our son brought over that I'm supposed to restore.
Chives, I've heard of them.
Yeah. Well, there's chamomile. I want to make chamomile tea. And there's dill, and there's cilantro that's going to seed, which I'll let it go to seed, and then it'll just drop the seeds and it'll reseed itself.
Cool. What's in the bucket?
That's just water from the rain last night.
We did have a nice storm, had about an inch of rain last night.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't help inside the high tunnel, does it?
No rain gets in here, so I still have to irrigate.
Okay.
So, this is the fun place to be on the farm. I love this place. Come out here early in the morning before it gets hot. And I love working out here. And most of it is tomatoes. There is one full row, 2 half rows, and another half row of all tomatoes. Altogether, I think I have 135 tomato plants of like 15 different varieties. I want to experiment and see which ones I actually like. And I'm also growing some flowers in here. Supposedly you get longer stems in a high tunnel, so I'm experimenting. I have some zinnias and some dahlias. And for the indeterminate tomatoes, I'm excited to do the stringing method the whole way up. Out in the garden, you can only go as high as your stake, whereas in here, I can go the whole way to that top of that tunnel there.
So indeterminate means it's
they
just a
grow
vine
and grow
that
and grow and grow. They don't stop.
So that's up about 8 feet.
Yep. And it'll probably go past that, but I'll probably just have to top it off then.
Okay.
So I have some celery growing in here too. I've never grown celery. Everybody says homemade celery is better than anything you can get, so we're going to try it.
Look at that celery.
And look at the weeds.
A couple weeds. So I guess if the plants grow really well, it means the weeds grow
A
well.
lot of good compost and soil in here. That's one debate Donnie and I have had. We'll see who is correct. He would like to have plastic everywhere, or garden landscape fabric. I'm more of a traditionalist. I know it's more work. Yeah, I like the wood chip pathways and nice mulched beds.
All right, well, let's look at the...
There's weeds. I know there's weeds.
No, but the pathway is
good wood chip
mulch.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the garden, I just mulched it with some compost, which it'll still grow weeds because it's compost and it's got some weed seeds in it. But I don't know, because the plastic, I have tomatoes, I have basil, I have marigolds. I have a lot of holes I would have to poke.
You know why I like plastic?
Because there's no weeding.
Yeah.
But see, I don't mind weeding. I come out here when it's nice, and for me, that's almost relaxing to some degree. So we'll see if I'm able to keep ahead of it this year. If not, it might be plastic in here next year. We'll see. This year is a big experiment. I've never grown in a high tunnel, so I'll be learning a lot this year.
So what else do you have in here besides the tomatoes? And
lots and lots of lettuce.
Okay, what kind of lettuce?
I'd have to look at my phone. I have all my lists written out on my phone. I don't remember them all by heart.
All right, well, it's good looking lettuce.
But the celery, there's actually white and there's pink celery. I figured the grandkids would like pink celery.
Okay. Speaking of grandchildren, their strawberries are ready, so they're out there picking.
I love it.
So tell me for a minute about how you regulate the heat in here and how warm does it get?
Well, we have a fan system and an automatic thermostat, but we don't have the electricity run out here yet. So the temperature regulator is me.
All right.
I have to come running out and open the doors, pull the sides up, or close the doors, put the sides down. But eventually, when it's all set up, the thermostat will say it's hot, the fans will kick on and blow some of the hot air out.
Yeah.
So it'll be a little easier to
I
control.
suspect in the heat of the day in the summer, we'll still have to roll
Oh,
up
we'll
the
be rolling
sides.
things up. They might even stay up.
So
I
there's
don't
a
know.
roll on the very end of the high tunnel, and then that pipe goes the full distance, and it just cranks
Yep.
right up.
And we have a hand crank. You just actually crank it up and crank it down. But
Okay.
it can quickly get over 100 degrees in here when the sun hits it. So we open it up as soon as the sun comes out in the morning. And even in the winter when it was like 30 and 40 degrees outside, it was 80, almost 90 in here sometimes. So it was fun working out here in the winter
Yeah, no wind, and it's warm.
until you walked outside. So the tomatoes are doing well. They're starting to get flowers.
Nice. So you have double row irrigation on these?
Yep, there's one running right along the tomatoes and then one running in the front to get all, see, this is all basil amongst the weeds.
Basil.
That's
nice.
Genovese basil. I have cardinal basil,
Okay,
African
these are
basil.
the ones you said they've got flowers already.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, we'll have tomatoes before too long. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of peppers. I have a whole row of peppers and a few more on the end up there. And it's all kinds of peppers. Green peppers, red peppers, yellow peppers, purple peppers, orange peppers. I like to have all the different colors.
Yeah.
And again, don't look at the weeds.
Well, it's just a couple weeds. It really isn't bad. But I think the first year you said it's going to be the worst.
The first year's going to be worse because there's so many annual weed seeds in everything. So, but the thing is, if they're annual, once I pull them, they're not going to come back. So I just need to spend a little more time out here weeding, which I don't mind. And it'll be okay.
Okay.
Now today my project is to put a trellis up for the cucumbers.
Okay, so we're in a greenhouse, but I'm wondering, what are all these orange juice containers?
They are a greenhouse within a greenhouse. They really protect the plants when they're little babies. They just seem to give them a jump start. I don't know how they work, but they really work well.
Let's look at one.
Well, these are the second planting of celery, so they're behind. They're little babies.
Okay.
But as soon as I plant them in the ground and put this little greenhouse on, they take off. It's amazing.
Now you could do that outside in the
Oh
market
yeah,
garden, too.
yeah. I do greenhouses out there too. My mini greenhouses.
And it's important you leave the lids off so they get ventilation. right?
Otherwise they would cook.
But they get steamy in there, don't they?
Luckily we drink a lot of orange juice and lemonade and limeade, and we have lots of those jugs.
Yeah.
And I get Donnie to saw the bottoms off, and I have greenhouses everywhere. But they're very handy, especially early spring when things are still cold. It's like a double protection against the cold.
Yeah.
So, well, this is my cucumber area, and they're coming along nicely. And the project today is put the netting up. This is that netting that you saw out in the garden. It's the square polyester type trellis, and the cucumbers, I'll hook it to the thing up there, and the cucumbers will just climb right up.
The other cool things about a high tunnel is that there's a truss network up top that you can hang strings from, and I don't have to go around and put up a bunch of posts. But I see that you do have a few posts.
I did
in
need
here.
some posts. The two type of tomatoes, indeterminate, they grow forever, so you have to have a long way for them to grow. There'll be a single stem going up that thing. These are determinate. They have a determined height. They only grow to like 3 or 4 feet, and you don't want to trim them to a single stem. You want them to be a bush to get more production. So I do what's called Florida weave. If you look on YouTube, it's all over the place. You're just basically weaving string opposite sides of it so it sandwiches it in between and just holds it upright, doesn't let it go crazy. So just need a few stakes to hook it to, and actually today, you can tell they're getting tall enough, I need to do the next row. They're gonna start falling over, so I need to do another whole row and catch the next tallest part.
Okay, so they just weave zig.
Yep. It's on one side when you do one row, the other side the other, so it holds it in between. It's like it sandwiches.
To some degree, each plant's holding the other one up, but then every 5 plants or so
Yep,
you
have a stake
post.
to keep them, keep them really under control.
Okay.
And lots of those, they're like the Romas, the Amish paste, a lot of those type of tomatoes. So you had to drive a few stakes, but not as many, but you did have to put the wire up there for me.
Yeah, that wasn't that big a deal. What's with this big cart of stuff?
It's compost. Beautiful compost, and it's mulch. I'm going to be doing some weeding, and then I put mulch over top, so that kind of keeps the weeds suppressed.
So
But
this
it's-
is what you were growing all winter?
Yes.
Kept turning it over
Yes.
with the tractor?
Because, I mean, the dirt under here is farm soil that's been conventionally farmed for who knows how long. So while it had good chemical balance, it was dead. There was no worms, no bacteria, no fungus. So we've brought in tons of leaf mulch, mushroom soil, compost. We're trying to liven the soil up. So it makes more weeds for right now, but I have to improve the soil. So
So I noticed you, like in these rows of tomatoes, you got other stuff planted in here.
yes, I have marigolds and nasturtium. They're supposedly keep the pests away, plus I think they look really pretty.
No, that's a marigold, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And oh, here's a pink nasturtium coming. Look, that one's going to be pink.
Where?
Right there. He hasn't opened yet, but he's going to be pink. There's a yellow one, and I just picked an orange one. And I've never eaten a nasturtium. They say they're really yummy. Ooh, they're kind of good.
Do you feel lightheaded or anything?
You might have, oh, they have a little bit of a kick on the end.
Really?
You might have nasturtium in your salad tonight.
Awesome.
There's all kinds of things you can eat.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about the basil. I like making pesto. And I just love plants. I love gardening.
Cool.
I guess it's a good thing, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Especially since you love weeding too.
Yeah.
So
once in a while he joins me weeding for a while.
I get bored quickly though.
Yeah, he does.
So what's at the other end of the high tunnel here?
The mess?
Now let's go see. Now here's how you can tell if you're working with a master gardener or not. If your bench and your table is a mess like this one, you know you have a creative mind at work, working hard. If your bench is all organized and all your tools are hung up and there's no dirt on the wood and the table, then you're missing half the fun.
Either that or I'm just really messy. But it is a lot to keep up with, so you do what you gotta do.
Hey, we should show the pictures of me making that bench.
Yep, he made me a beautiful potting bench.
You can't really see it because of all the stuff, but it's functioning under there.
Well, and we repurposed. When we redid the kitchen in the farmhouse, we had countertops left over. So this was the island, which is great for putting things on.
Yeah.
And on the other side is another big piece of countertop. So we've reused a lot of stuff from the house.
What I think is more interesting, the wood in there is 100-plus-year-old oak that was in the barn, so it's already well seasoned. And anyway, we'll show you the pictures.
Now it's going to get more seasoned.
Yeah. So okay, Brenda, where's your happy place right now?
Right here. When it's not 100 degrees. Yeah, I like coming out here and working first thing in the morning. It's definitely my happy place. This and the market garden.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the tour of the high tunnel, and thanks for joining us this morning.
And if any of you out there are experienced high tunnel people and see things I'm doing very wrong, please let me know, comment. This is our first year, it's a learning year, and feel free to tell me if I'm crazy for not using plastic. And again, if anybody loves to weed in the area, come on over and help. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.